Soul Has No Color. The Secret Friendship of James Brown and Elvis. In the 1960s, two kings ruled American music: James Brown, the godfather of soul, and Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. While the press pitted them as rivals, a secret friendship was forged through late-night phone calls. Miles from the screaming crowds, they didn't talk business. They talked as friends. History almost forgot they were brothers, connected by a powerful belief: soul has no color.
Well, soul has no color, has no barrier. But I also had a lot of good people that brought out a lot. I want to pay a tribute to a good friend of mine, Brother Elvis Presley, who opened up a lot of doors for me to get through. Elvis was a pioneer, and he came out 1 year before I did. He was out in '55, Heartbreak Hotel. And then I come in '56. And Elvis and I were very good friends up until the last minute of his bodily life. But he'll always live because of the fact he was such a beautiful man. I don't care what nobody say. I know Elvis. You know, there are a lot of rumors. Elvis and I used to sing spiritual together. And he'd buy any movie that I'd make, any film, he'd buy the film and close the theater up and show it. I love Elvis for being a man. I love him for what he'd done for the people and the chance he gave me. He kept me from being number one. I was number one soul and he was number one world, and it took a long time, but it's almost like the two rental cars. It made me try harder. And I love Elvis for it, and we'll always pray for Elvis.
Parallel crowns. In a deeply segregated America, their music flowed in separate streams. Yet, Elvis, the Mississippi Kid, and James Brown, the Georgia shoeshine boy, studied each other's records like secret recipes. Introduced by DJ George Klein in 1966, the pretense of rivalry vanished. Elvis admitted, "Mr. Dynamite, I've been stealing from you since '54. Brown shot back, "King, I've been stealing from you since '55. The laughter that followed was the sound of two travelers on the same lonely road of fame, finally finding a friend. Gospel at 3 a.m. Their friendship was built on shared roots. The first time James visited Graceland, Elvis met him at the gate and led him to a piano. For hours, they sang gospel, a raw outpouring of soul. They repeated the ritual in Elvis's Vegas penthouse at 3 a.m., sharing a bucket of fried chicken. No entourage, just two Southern boys finding solace in the hymns of their youth. Elvis reportedly kept tapes of their sessions locked away.
It was back in '69, '68, I believe '69, when Elvis was making his comeback and had played the International Hotel in Las Vegas. It's now the Las Vegas Hilton. Mr. Brown had been doing a show the week prior to Elvis coming in, and he was ending his show at the International Hotel there on Saturday night, and Elvis came in on the weekend, and he was to open the following week. He called Mr. Brown, wanted us to come up to his suite, and I got really nervous. As many people as I'd met, I kind of got weak in the knees. Mr. Brown called me at my suite, and he said, "Mr. Davis, you want to meet Elvis?" And so I was really in awe. But we went down to the suite, and Elvis met us out in the hall as we were getting off the elevator, and I went upstairs to the suite. He was a floor above us, and but they were laughing and talking, and we went inside and had some sandwiches and coffee, and the next thing they got to singing bars of gospel music, and they were teasing each other. Elvis would say, "James, I bet you don't know so and so and so and so." He'd say, "Oh man, yeah," and he'd sing a few bars, and James Brown would do the same thing to him. "You don't know so and so," and James Brown told him, he said, "Well, I go to church." Elvis said he went to church and he knew them all. He said, "Well, I go to church too." He said, "I know more than you do," and they were teasing back and forth about who knew all the gospel songs. And they went back and forth. It was like a little tit for tat battle, like two little kids, you know. And James Brown loved Elvis, and Elvis loved James Brown. But anyway, they put on a mini concert there. James Brown sat out on the piano stool with him, and they sang gospel music for about 2 hours. And that was how I first met Elvis.
Cold calls and private screenings. Their support was unconditional. When Brown worried his film, Black Caesar, wouldn't reach white audiences, Elvis quietly bought out 2 theaters for a private screening for Hollywood insiders. As the film earned a standing ovation, Elvis just smiled. "Told you they'd feel it, James." Brown returned the favor, sneaking a disguised Elvis into the legendary Apollo Theater. For one night, the king wasn't the headliner. He was just a fan, screaming for somebody else. The funeral Brown almost missed. On August 16th, 1977, the news broke. Elvis Presley was dead. A devastated James Brown flew to Memphis, saying, "That's my friend. I have to go." Wading through a sea of mourners at Graceland, he signed the guest book, Soul Brother Number 1. At the open casket, he was visibly distraught and was one of the few celebrities allowed a private moment to view the body. Brown later released a heartfelt version of Love Me Tender, with all proceeds going to Elvis's favorite charity, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, defending the crown after death. In the years after, when critics accused Elvis of stealing black music, Brown became his fiercest defender. "Blame the system, not the singer," he'd declare, pointing to the segregated world that shaped their paths. He reminded people that Elvis shared credits with black songwriters and quietly donated to black churches. When a journalist baited him, asking if Elvis deserved the crown, Brown replied, "A crown ain't about who wore it first. It's about who wore it honest." The final phone call. Just weeks before Elvis's death, a 4 a.m. phone call carried a final dream. Elvis, tired but excited, proposed a joint tour. "Just you and me," he said. "We'd swap bands," and close the show together. They planned to meet the next month. That tour never happened. But for the rest of his life, Brown carried a slip of paper from his wallet with their proposed title, Soul and Rock, No Barricades. It was a blueprint for a bridge they planned to build together. If you believe music transcends all boundaries, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold histories. Legacy in one sentence. James Brown and Elvis Presley proved that rhythm and blues, gospel and rock are dialects of one language. Their friendship didn't erase America's divisions, but it carved a secret tunnel under the wall, a passage just wide enough for 2 kings to share their souls. Remember their truth. Soul has no color. It only has volume.